Okay, pizza lovers, welcome back to another episode of the Palette for Pizza podcast. I am Stefan and I'm here with Adamo as well.
Yes, welcome everyone. Back again, third episode. And let me say, Stefan, I love the background.
Thanks. Got
It
a
looks
little
good.
bit of had a bit of a jazzing up. So.
Yeah, I think I need to work on something like that. I got one on as doors in the background
It's
here.
the classic Italian look. It
The
works
classic
well.
Italian look. Yeah, that's it.
You can't be more authentic than that.
Nah, that's right. Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. So today's episode, we're going to talk about pizza around the world, pizzas that we've experienced, local and abroad. So I think the best way we could go about it is to maybe talk about recent trips that we've been on, and talk about some good pizza that we've had there, and just some, I guess, some memorable moments and things that we could like take back as like ideas for us, because I know that
Yeah,
I've had
absolutely.
a few little moments where I thought, oh, that's nice. I'm going to bring that back to my restaurant, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I did the same
So
thing.
yeah, so I'll let you start off.
Yeah, well, I recently got back from Italy. Recently, I've been about 3 months ago. So we went on a holiday, me, my wife, and my little son, Giuseppe, and it was great to finally go back to Italy again after a while. It'd been about 9 years since I'd been back. So it was great to go back to the motherland.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
But it was good, like, while we were there, obviously, had to have pizza. Can't go to Italy and not have pizza. So a couple of places that stood out to me was one in Sicily, and actually there was two in Sicily, but one was in the mainland of Sicily in Messina. It was a place called Barracuda, and they were in the top 50. Like the top 50 of Italy or Europe, whatever it works over there, of pizza. And it was contemporary style. And I remember, when it came out, I was just like, my eyes just lit up.
yeah.
The cornicione on it was just, man, it was killer. It was so big, thick, but so light,
And
crispy
unusual
as
to
well.
see out of Sicily.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah,
You know,
in Sicily, it's unusual to see that sort of, because it's more of a Neapolitan sort of thing. I would say, you know what I mean. But
yeah,
yeah, it
yeah, that's
definitely
right.
was really good pizza. The toppings as well that they had, such a really diverse amount as well. Like they had like different stuff that you wouldn't really see everywhere else, and especially here in Australia too. Using like a lot of different things. Like yellow tomato base instead of your normal tomato tomato. So it was
Yeah, yeah,
having a different flavour was really good.
yeah.
But then also doing different combinations with that, which was awesome. So yeah, that was one place, and then there's another place in Lipari, which you're familiar with too, Stefan, the island of
Yeah, the Aeolian
Sicily
Islands.
there,
Yeah,
the Aeolian
yeah,
Islands. So that's an island that our family came from, or one of. And whilst I was there, my cousin who lives there took me to a place called A Casa Mia. They do Neapolitan style pizza, sort of, I guess, similar to what we do, with bigger and all that kind of thing. The long fermentation process and all that. And one of their pizzas that I had was called the Eoliana, and it was one that I
yeah,
it was actually one that I ended up bringing back here as well.
yeah, yeah.
And we've currently got it on the specials at
It
our
looks really good.
restaurant.
I haven't tried it,
Yeah,
but
like
it looks too good. Yeah,
yeah, it really is. Like I remember when I read it, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds so good. Came out, ate it, demolished it. But the flavors just work so well. You know what I mean? White base pizza with fresh ingredients. Cherry tomatoes, capers, onion, black olives, tuna, and then a bit of oregano on it at the end. Just worked so well. Just the flavors just burst in your mouth.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
definitely some good ingredients there, and
yeah, of
like
course.
different than what a lot of other places are doing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's right. It's hard though, trying to bring in specials like that. Sometimes, people either go for it or they don't. They get a bit scared to try different things. But
Yeah, well, people,
yeah,
some people get not stuck in their way, but a lot of people, once they like something, they don't like changing from it.
yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Well, what do you do? And then to go to the other side, we went up to we're up in Puglia, so sort of on the boot region of Italy, where my mother-in-law comes from, and there's a town called Anzano. That's where she was born. Anyway, there was a little, like a pasticceria, for those that don't understand it, is a bakery, I guess you call it. And they did, I guess, a pugliese style pizza. It looked sort of more like a focaccia, like a round focaccia, thick. Anyway, my mother-in-law's sister lives in Rome, and they came along with us. And I said, "Oh, you have to try this pizza from Puglia. It's unreal. We'll take you to the one in Anzano." So we went there and we got a slice, and they're like a big slice of it. And as soon as I took a bite into it, I was like, "What is this?" The crunch, the taste, the flavors it was just plain though. Like, you know what I mean? It was just like onion.
Simple.
A bit of oregano. Yeah, it was simple. That's all it was. Or there was one with just cherry tomatoes in it, but seasoned and that. And so simple, but yet so tasty that I'm like, I have to try and replicate this when I get back, and I've been trying to, and I've come close, but it's something like.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the good thing about traveling. You can experience different things and get different takes on different areas. And see what they're doing, and
as you've obviously been to Italy yourself, and you see just from going from north to south how much it changes. Just the flavors. In flavors, and not even just pizza, even just the cuisine in general. Different regions, different towns, even all have different things.
It's got different kind of like influences as well on how they.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like their take on things. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always very interesting to take that leap from the north down to the south.
Yeah, it is, definitely. It's a massive change.
Yeah. Cool. No, that's good.
And what about you? So last trip to Italy? I remember you went.
So last year, 2023, last year. Yeah. So I went last year when I competed in Parma for the World Pizza Championships there.
That's right.
So obviously before we went to Parma, I was sourcing ingredients from different areas, and we spent a few days in Milan, and had a really good pizza there at a place called Gino's 1928, and it's in the actual piazza of the Duomo.
Okay.
And we didn't think much of it at the start because we thought, if it's in the piazza, like near the Duomo, it's probably going to be like a tourist trap. It's probably just going to be expensive, and because there are places like that. Yeah. There's a lot of places in Italy where just because you're in Italy, you assume you're going to get good food when it's not like that.
Yeah, it's not.
But this one, to my surprise, was actually like, because we were obviously going for pizza, I didn't want to order it until I saw something, And I could see the way they were on the oven, and they looked like they knew what they were doing. And you could see, the pizzas that would come out, it had a contemporary look, but it wasn't it wasn't a super high hydration. It was just, they were still keeping it to maybe the high 60s to low 70s. So it still looked like the kind of pizza that I eat, like the crunchier kind of contemporary Napolitana,
Yeah.
So that was really good. When I ate there, I asked them a couple questions about like their fermentation and that, and like they were a little bit like, when they looked at me, like I don't know, like I think it was more just he wasn't expecting the questions that I was asking in detail, but it was good. Like soon as like they came back to me and they told me what they were doing, they did like a bigger recipe, so like they were, they were good with that, and that was really good.
Was it like a percentage or 100%?
They didn't tell me the percentage. They just said what they were doing. They just said it was a pre-fermented dough. Obviously, they probably don't want to release too much.
That's fair enough.
Yeah,
Can't tell secrets to everyone, can you?
Yeah, that's it. And there was another one I had in in Parma itself. Now these guys were in the top 50, but they were the top 50 pizza chains. So they were only like if you were a chain restaurant, you know what I mean? Now, I can't remember the name of this place, but one thing that stood out was they had their own little pizza kits. So basically, everyone on their table got their own little tin with a fork, a knife, a serviette, and a pizza cutter, because obviously in Italy, they don't cut the pizzas for you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So you got to cut your own pizza with the pizza cutter, and it was a really good thing
That's pretty
The
cool.
pizza was all right. Like the pizza was good. It wasn't overly expensive. So it was good, a good price.
Yeah,
And it was like it was nice. It was good toppings, good style that they were doing. But what got me was like that initiative of what they did with the cutlery, and like I brought that into my restaurant when we had it. It wasn't as sophisticated as them because they had all their branding on all their cutlery and everything because they're a chain, so they probably got a bit of money behind them to do that.
yeah,
But
of course.
we tried something similar, like we got some tins and we got like the cutlery and the pizza cutters and but the only difference that we did is when they were dining and we asked them if they want it cut ahead of time or if they want to cut it themselves because obviously you give someone an uncut pizza in Australia, most of them will probably lose it and be like, where's it, why isn't it
Man,
cut, you know what I mean?
man, I've had
uh,
people send back a pizza before because it wasn't cut properly,
yeah,
like
that's
right
right, yeah,
through the crust,
exactly,
like it was just like this little tiny bit like that,
yeah, yeah,
and not cut.
yeah.
And it sends it
Yeah,
back
yeah,
and said, "Oh, the pizza's not cut properly." You're like, "Come on,
yeah,
you
yeah.
haven't
That's
got a
right.
knife in
Yeah,
front of you, man. Just cut it."
but those were probably the two. I actually like haven't eaten a lot of pizza in different restaurants in Italy. Most of the time, I've had pizza is like, like the auto grills and that, where they're just selling like
Yeah,
pizza
by
by
the
the
slice.
slice.
Yeah,
That's where I'll
and
have it. And even
even
that,
that's
it's
like
good enough. Like
it's good. Yeah, like it's not bad.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
like their version of that pizza is like that's their fucking Domino's. Like they don't see
Yeah,
that as good pizza. They see it as it's
no,
servo pizza. But Aussies, we see it as it's good pizza. You know what I mean?
it's good. Yeah, exactly
Um,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, well, man,
So
you go to an auto grill in Italy, man. They're just unreal. They're on their
yeah,
own.
yeah,
Like
it's on another
the
level.
range. Oh yeah, it's nothing like you don't see anything like that here.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
So for anyone that's listening, if you've never been to an auto grill, it's basically a servo that doubles up as like a little mini shopping center and restaurant.
yeah, pretty much.
So it's got the delis, it's
Like on
got people cooking
steroids.
pizzas. Yeah, so
Yeah,
because
good
Italians don't
food, like
half-ass anything.
big
They gotta,
panini. Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah,
Got the latte.
yeah,
You got everything in there, man. It's so good.
yeah, yeah,
Cornetti.
uh,
What
yeah.
else? You
They got the
got
lot.
everything.
So
Coffee. They got everything. You got
yeah,
everything you
yeah,
want, man. Everything.
that's it.
Yeah, man.
um,
It's definitely.
Another food, I was going to say, another food that stands out, and I know you're going to agree with me on this one because we're
Yeah,
from the same area of Sicily. It's not
yeah,
pizza; it's the pane con sarto. Um,
man.
so,
That's
and I feel like that deserves a bit of recognition because it comes from
deserves
the
a round of
similar
applause.
family. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So, for anyone that doesn't know what pane con sarto is, it's basically in the olden days it was more considered as like a poor man's dish. So basically, it's like day old bread, and they, because a lot of Sicilians back in the day, weren't in an abundance of money, so it was a good filling option, cheap to feed the family and things like that.
yeah, absolutely.
So it's basically day old bread, and they cut the halves of the loaf,
Yeah,
and then they toast it with like oregano and oils and things like that. And then they would put like fresh veg on their from their garden, like chopped tomatoes and onions and that. And now you'll see it in cafes and things like that, served as an actual meal. And they've gone a lot more extravagant with it now. So they'll do like anchovies, and they'll do different types of feta
tuna.
and buffalo mozzarella, tuna, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
capers,
and it's like it's
eggplant
the
too.
best thing ever because you get like you'll see it, and it's like I can't remember what we paid, but the one that I used to always obviously go to in Salina and Alfredo is,
Yeah,
I
Dale
think
Fred.
it's probably, yeah, I think it's like maybe 10 to 12 euro for half of one. I can't remember.
Yeah, well, I was just when I was there just now. Oh, back in April.
Yeah,
Um, we went there as well and had it, and it was so good. And I think it was about. I think you're right. I think it was about €12 for a half. I think I can't remember either,
yeah,
but
and
it was about that. And
the half is
yeah, the
enough,
half.
more than enough
Yeah,
for one person.
yeah, it is. You could smash
Like
a
you
whole one
can't.
if you really wanted to, but
Yeah.
yeah, half is definitely I think is enough.
Yeah. And they're fully loaded. Like it's the complete opposite of what pizza represents in Naples. Like it's just fully loaded to the rim,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
it just
We should see if
works.
we can.
Like it's I could eat that every day. Like it's
Yeah,
and the good thing
absolutely.
is
And because
it's
it's
actually like
fresh.
refreshing too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's
So
fresh, and it's sort of I don't know. You could almost say it's a healthy dish as well. You know what I mean? I mean, all right, aside from maybe if it's left with oil and stuff, maybe not so much. But hey,
But even
olive
like,
oil's good for you, man.
yeah, that's it. But like, even when you eat it, like, I don't think, other than feeling like you've just had a really decent meal, I don't think I've ever felt like overly bloated or like crap from eating one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, it just feels like you've just had a nice heavy meal, but it
yeah,
doesn't,
absolutely.
you know,
Yeah,
same as what, like when you've eaten pasta or something like that. You don't feel
yeah,
horrible. You
exactly.
just, it's just filled you up, you know, but it is
Yeah,
full of
that's right.
more, obviously, you know, better things on it, like all the veg and stuff like that. If you choose the right one, just don't get the one that's loaded with like shaved ricotta on it and stuff, because then it might be a few more calories on there.
Yeah, maybe, and you'll be thirsty
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's a ricotta salata.
yeah. The salata, yeah,
Yeah, the salty ricotta,
yeah.
but it tastes
Funny
good.
enough, that cheese, oh yeah, that cheese, you know, it how hard it is to get that cheese anywhere in Italy other than Sicily,
Yeah,
because
I know. Yeah, because
that
it's a
pizza,
definitely
yeah, because it's like, you know, it's from
it's a
Sicily,
Sicilian
but
thing. Yeah, it's
or
like
even just southern Italian as well, because that was one of the ingredients that I put on my Salina pizza, which was the one I entered for the competition.
yeah,
And obviously I couldn't bring it from Australia, and why would you when you're in Italy, you know? So
of course.
I had to source it locally, and like we looked everywhere, Milan, we looked all over Parma, like we checked that whole like northern region, could not find it anywhere, and I ended up having to order it from Sicily and get it delivered to the
Oh
hotel.
my god. Yeah,
And then the delivery was saying it was going to arrive the day before the competition. So I was shitting myself because I thought, oh shit, what if it actually
no.
doesn't arrive in time? I'm going to
Yeah,
have to. So I was thinking, you know, I told my sister and my brother, I'm like, look, this is what we have to do. We have to have a backup pizza. We might not be able to do the Salina because the Salina doesn't work without that cheese. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah,
we were going to do like my Vulcano pizza. Looking back on it, the Vulcano probably would have been a better option because that was a really good pizza. But
yeah.
yeah, it
Next time.
arrived the day before the competition. Yeah, it
I
arrived
say it
and
made it. Yeah.
uh, it did, but we didn't end up even using it because that same day or the day before, we found a market in Parma and they only do it once a year. And it's like a kind of like an international cuisine market. So they had everything that you could think of. You had different burgers, ribs, and things like that. Then they had like all different areas of Italy, you know, in different pop up marquees and food trucks. And one of them was a cheese guy, and he was selling all different cheeses. And he was from, I think, Calabria. I think he was from there or around that area. And I was looking at the cheese because obviously it's cheese, and I didn't have the other one hadn't arrived yet. So I thought, well, shit, he might have it. And then we were having a look, and then he had like a different area that was smoked. So he didn't have the ricotta salata; he had the smoked ricotta salata, which is even nicer. And that's like, yeah. So that one was called ricotta affumicata, or I think something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Fumigata.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then when we tried that, I was like, fuck. So we ended up having that one. Then the one arrived from Sicily. And like me, my sister, and my brother were like, that doesn't even compare. Like this one's so much better. So, and it was good because when we used it on the pizza, the judges were like, well, what's that cheese? And then I told them, they're like, that's different. Like we don't really see that all
Yeah.
that often, you
Yeah.
know?
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, yeah. So that's a little bit of pizza eating experience in Italy.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Nice.
I don't know about locals.
Oh,
Like I don't go out for pizza a lot locally.
yeah. I know.
Um,
It's
and
yeah. Same
I think a
here.
lot of pizza makers are just the same. Like when you make pizza for a living, it's just like I'll go out and I'll eat pasta. You know, that's normally my go-to. I don't eat a lot of pizza
And that's fair enough.
around.
That's because you like
Yeah,
pizza. You know. Why? I mean, I was going
yeah,
to say, why would you go have pizza somewhere else? But it still can be good to go have pizza elsewhere. I mean, I know when I
yeah,
go
yeah,
out for dinner, which is very rare now, but
yeah.
if we ever do, and it is an Italian restaurant and they do pizza, I generally do like to try their pizza. Not to compare it
As a
to mine, but just
curiosity,
yeah,
yeah,
just out
yeah,
of curiosity. You know what I mean? Like because
yeah,
everyone does it different, and especially if it's like if it is similar to what we do, you know, like a Neapolitan style or you know real Italian pizza. I'll always do like to try it just to see, you know, what it's
yeah.
like
Just
for the
see what
most
others
part.
are
You know what I mean?
doing, and yeah, yeah, yeah.
There is
Uh,
one place that I can mention that was good, and it's made in casa. You heard of them in Melbourne?
I have made in casa. Is that
Valerio.
Valerio?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Valerio.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We
I've
went.
met him. I've never been to the restaurant, but
Oh,
I've
okay,
heard good
yeah.
things.
Well,
Yeah,
we've been Instagram friends for a while, and we went up.
yeah,
Was it end of last year, around like October, November last year? Went up for dinner,
yeah. He's very
and
passionate.
yeah, he is very passionate. And I met
Yeah,
him
yeah,
like for the first time then, like in person. Really
yeah,
great guy, very hospitable, and his wife as well. And anyway, we obviously, we had different food. Didn't have just pizza, but I had pizza. I'm like, because his pizza looks good, and I'm like, I've got to try it. And
it does. Yeah,
tell you what, it was really good, Stefan.
yeah.
Very good.
What
Very good pizza.
what flour was he using? Because I know that he's jumped between Malini
Yeah,
Pizzuti,
I
Porcelli.
think I think I think he was using. He might have been using Porcelli. I can't remember now.
Yeah,
I don't recall asking him, to be honest, but he
yeah,
was either using Pizzuti or Porcelli. I can't remember.
yeah. But he does pre-fermented dough. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I
His
think he
restaurant.
does. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure he does. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, look, regardless, it was very good, very tasty, and the toppings.
yeah.
He does.
We'll have to
And
tag him
really
in the
nice.
video.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I shout out to him because his pizza's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. No, he's good. Yeah,
I've also tried Chef Salim's pizza.
yeah.
Very,
He's
very nice as well.
unfortunately I haven't, but he's one of the most genuine guys you can come across.
Oh,
So
100%. He's
yeah,
he's a true
it's
gentleman.
every time I've been to we haven't synced up. I actually did go one time to see him, and it was sold out. He was that busy. Yeah, he was flat out that night.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm gonna have to catch up with him another time.
yeah, absolutely. I went and
Yeah,
tried his pizza when he was doing some filling shifts. What's the place? Carusi too.
yeah, I know them.
In
Yeah,
St Kilda, I think maybe. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was doing some shifts there,
Okay,
filling
yeah,
in, and well, me and Laura, my wife, were up in Melbourne for the day, and we're like, oh, we'll go out for dinner, so I'll go get a pizza from something.
yeah. That's it. Yeah,
Of course, and yeah, it was good. It was good, very good
yeah,
pizza.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm thinking
But yeah, like
yeah, as I was just thinking one I've been to before, Leonardo's, and I think it's Carlton. Yeah, so they do I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like a hybrid Napolitana. So basically, they're using a larger base, and they use different cheese on their pizzas, kind of you could tell that it's got a blend of other cheeses. So it's got a lot of flavor. Their pizzas have a lot of flavor to them in the cheese, which is something that I don't think you see that all that often, because a lot of people are just using the fresh mozzarella.
yeah, that's right, exactly.
But these guys are blending different cheeses, and it works well.
Well, that's good if it works for them. I mean, some people
Yeah,
like to keep
yeah,
authentic.
that's it.
And, just
Yeah.
one style. Not mixing different.
Yeah,
cheeses,
yeah. Well, we, the other on the weekend, we just did a retreat, and I did a mix of a hybrid between a Napolitana and a Roman style pizza. So it was a
Oh yeah, I
Napolitana
saw
recipe.
that. That looked good.
Yeah, it came out really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked good.
So it was a Napolitana recipe, but I used oil in the dough, and I pushed the hydration a lot more to about 80%. And then I dropped the oven temperature right down to about 320 to 350. So the pizza was cooking around 3 to 4 minutes. And it was good, man. It had the fluffy texture to it, but it was still crunchy. And obviously, because I've made it in a rectangle style, I was able to cut it in nice rectangles. And everyone loved it. And I think I loved it more just because it was so different to all the Napolitana I've had. Because obviously that Napolitana is my thing, and that's all you eat. So it's just good to have.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
when
good
you
to
eat
have
Sicilian pizza.
Yeah.
It's just good to have something different.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So even that, I blended 4 different cheeses together in the margarita for that one. You know what I mean? And it was
Yeah.
just something different. It was really nice. But yeah, so good to try different things.
Yeah, of course. What do you think about Roman style pizza, like the pizza in Italia?
Yeah, so I think with the Roman style, I wouldn't go out of my way to eat one at a restaurant because I don't feel like that's the kind of pizza you would eat at a restaurant. But it's definitely the pizza that if you're in Italy, that's the one you're always getting by the slice,
On the
and
street.
it's on the street, and it's this is fucking good, man. So I think it's more of a mood thing,
Yeah.
So like
Yeah,
I
true.
liked making the Roman style this time around because you're feeding 20 people. It's easy to share that kind of pizza as well,
Yeah.
and I feel like
Yeah, well,
there's
that's true.
less there's less backlash on it because you don't have to cop the it's too thin or like it's you know um
Yeah. Yeah, because
so
it's like
yeah
it's not too thick either. It's like just
yeah
in the
yeah
right, and it's got like a nice crunch to it as well.
yeah if I ever
And like
did
you said,
open sorry go on yeah
no, I was going to say, like you said, it's easy to share it. You know, big
yeah
rectangle
that's it
pizza, cut up into so many pieces, and
yeah
yeah, easy.
that's right yeah if I ever did open another shop I think I'd do that. I'd do like that in a cafe
Good idea.
because yeah, it's something a little bit different than every other Napolitana restaurant, and like it's I don't know. I feel like it can be a little bit more flexible with the flavors and what you have on offer, and
Of
um,
course, yeah.
you can chop and change it during the day to different things of whatever you've got.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's good. You can
but
because you can make you can make it, have it on display.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, in your display fridge, all
that's
cut
right.
up,
Yeah,
ready to
yeah,
go. When
yeah,
someone orders it, chuck it in the little um, heater oven, whatever, um,
yeah.
just to
Yeah,
warm
just
it up. And
re-toast it up a bit. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, and
yeah.
at least people see what they're getting. I guess you
Yeah,
know, when
that's
they're
it.
like, yeah,
And a lot of people
that
see
looks
that
good.
get in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it looks
But
good. I want that. I remember actually when we were in Rome, we went to a supermarket and over by the deli there was this little section where they did Roman pizza by the slice, and it was just plain like just sauce, like nothing else on it, sauce, cheese, whatever. And we were sort of peckish, so we got a couple of slices of it, and just in a supermarket too. Anyway, we get out, open it up, eat it, and it was just freaking so good. It wasn't even warm either; like it was cold. Like it
yeah.
was one you'd take it home and reheat it, whatever, if you wanted to. But we just ate it like that. It was so
Yeah.
tasty. Like,
Yeah.
because there was nothing really on it, you could taste the dough, you could taste the sauce
yeah. You just enjoy it for
and
what
the
it is.
flavour.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the flavour
Yeah.
was just unbelievable. We were just
Yeah.
both of us like, fuck off. This is this is so good. I actually remember when we were in Anzano, we had that pizza in Puglia. Sorry, when we were in Puglia in Anzano town, we had that focaccia pizza. I remember the first thing that my wife said after she took a bite, she's like, "Get fucked," something like that. So, fuck off. I just started laughing because it was like, I know that when she says that, it means
Yeah. Like that's it. You
incredible.
can't top it, or yeah.
You can't beat this. Like, there's nothing
Yeah.
better than this. But
yeah.
it's something good when you're eating something for the
Yeah,
first time or whatever, and you're eating it, and you're like, "Fuck off," it's good.
I remember the first time I went to Italy, and I think it was in the airport, but it was on the outside of the airport at Catania. So we're like waiting for the bus, and they had like a little kiosk there where they're selling panini and pizza and that, and they had it was like a really oversized Napolitana pizza, so it didn't have the high crust. It was more like the classic Napolitana. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was really big, So like each slice, you're talking like probably the equivalent of like half a Napolitana pizza. You know what I mean? Like you could actually fold it. You could actually fold it properly, And yeah, like the first, like I remember it was like my first pizza I've had in Italy, and I just like holding it like that, like for a photo. It's like fuck, and I just thought like that's the way it must be in Italy, and then I realized no, it was just I think they were just doing something special. But yeah. And it's just classic. It was just a margarita, but it's so good. Like
margaritas.
Yeah.
One of my go-to pizzas. To be honest.
Yeah.
It's the one pizza where you can try, where you can eat and get to taste literally everything from like the main ingredients of the pizza, which is dough, sauce, and cheese. You know what I mean? Like they're three of the main things that build your pizza. You want to be good. You know what I mean? You want a good sauce, good cheese, and obviously a good dough, a good flour, and good tasting. You know what I mean? Like
you have to you have to try it. Like it's either margarita or the marinara. Like they're the go-to ones when you're tasting a pizza from somewhere. to
Well,
know if
that's
they've
right,
gotten it
exactly.
right, you know.
And if you go into a yeah, that's right. If you're going to a pizzeria for the first time, generally, most people will,
Yeah,
especially Italians, like proper Italians,
yeah,
will
yeah, yeah,
order a margarita first.
yeah, yeah,
And if a margarita's good, then and they come
yeah.
back
Then
to your
they'll order
restaurant
something
again,
else.
then they'll order
Yeah,
something else. And I
yeah,
usually I can tell
yeah,
when it's their first time because if Italians come in, you can just pick them usually, and you'll be like,
yeah, yeah,
they ordered a margarita, they're trying us out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
And
that's
more
good.
so, they're probably a pizza all of themselves as well.
Yeah, so they probably want to suss you out, or
Yeah,
yeah,
so they're like, oh
yeah,
shit, you got to make sure it's good. I usually, what's really funny, or it's good for us is that with our waitresses or waiters, whatever, they'll usually come up to us at the pizza and they go, see that table there, or table 5 or table 17, whatever. They'll be like, oh, they're Italians, from Italy, whatever. So they kind of like, give us the warning so we make sure we do it extra
yeah,
careful.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like, take extra care, make
yeah,
sure the
yeah,
pizza's
yeah,
fucking good because you need to
yeah.
impress you. I mean, we want to impress everyone. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but they're the ones that are going to probably spread the word, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Or if you don't know if they could be from like some association, you don't know where they could be from,
well, yeah, that's true. You don't know,
So,
and that's the thing.
yeah.
But if you can impress, a proper Italian with your pizza,
Yeah, that's
they're going
right.
to continue coming back because they'll feel at home and
Yeah.
they appreciate it.
Yeah. We had that once. We didn't get a lot of, obviously, we got proper Italians, but like, we didn't get a lot that you would call them like the import Italians, like the ones with the accents and everything. We didn't get a lot of them. But I do remember, I think that was more just because of where we were. It was more of an isolated town, so we didn't get like, it was more Australian tourism and things like that, other demographics. But I do remember we got these 2 Italian guys and they had Australian wives. And the wives had come in first and they were obviously talking like Australians. And then the guys came in and they were talking to each other in Italian, And it's a small shop, so I knew straight away, oh shit, well, if they're talking to each other in Italian, they're obviously from Italy because they're using that as their main language.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I asked them, oh, where you guys from? And they said where they were from in Melbourne. They didn't say they were obviously from Italy, but you knew. And then I think they said they found us on Instagram on a post.
Oh, okay.
And then they wanted to try us out. So that was more just like a family outing kind of day. And then they tried a couple different pizzas. They were big eaters, these guys. They were really big eaters. They tried a few pizzas and then I think they ordered 3 times in the one night. So I think they were being a bit conservative at the start because they probably didn't want to over order and then realize they didn't like it. So they ordered like 3 different rounds of mains until they'd had enough.
That's a good customer. That's a good customer.
Yeah. And then obviously, after the 3rd round, we were a bit quiet by then, so I was talking to them a bit more. And I can't remember where they were from in Italy, but it was somewhere in the south. And they just said, it's like, it's hard to get this pizza even in Italy some days, let alone Australia. You know what I mean? And that was a really good feeling. Oh, it was the best. Because it's not like you disregard everyone else's comments, but when you hear it from the motherland, it's like, that's a good feeling that that,
man, 100%.
So,
I totally agree. Yeah. I feel the same way. Like if we get Italians in or what we do and they come up, and thank you and say, oh, this is just as good as Italy, if not better.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, that's so good.
And it just makes you think like, oh, well, shove it to all the people that thought that your pizza was shit.
Yeah, exactly right.
Like the ones that think that they know what pizza is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have no idea. They eat Domino's.
That's it. Well, I think we can. I don't know if you have anything else that you want to share, but yeah.
No, I was going to say, should we do our little skit thing? We don't have not a skit. What's it called?
Like the customers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still don't have a name for it. I don't know why. We need to.
Maybe the customer.
Maybe someone can give us.
Yeah.
An idea, comment. Leave a comment.
Yeah. That we could do one. I've got to think of another one.
Well, I've got one.
All right, you go then first.
I've got one. So It's a short one. It's not that long.
Yeah, go,
So
go.
this happened when I literally was just starting out, right? So I don't even think I was making pizza yet. I was sort of still, I'd just taken the business over and I was sort of still, learning everything. And so I was up working the floor and, working at the counter, helping to, cut pizzas, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, this customer comes in with his wife or girlfriend or whatever. She was Italian background and he was Australian. Anyway, they were sitting outside. So this was at our old place, and we used to have outdoor seating as well. So they're outside. I think it must have been summer, I'm assuming, because they were sitting out there. Wouldn't have been out there in the cold. Anyway, he comes in to order, and he goes, "Oh, can I get a bruschetta and this and that and whatever?" And I'm like,
God.
I read the order back to him. I go, okay, so one bruschetta, and so I'm trying to correct him without being rude. And he turns around and goes to me, he goes, no, it's bruschetta. And I said, I go, no, it's bruschetta. And he goes, no, I go, sorry, I hate to be that person, but it's bruschetta. He goes, my partner or girlfriend, wife, whatever, she's Italian, and it's bruschetta. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, man, if she's Italian and she's saying bruschetta, man, she should not be saying she's Italian, because
it's like handing your passport now. Like this is
handing your passport. Like that's not handing.
Yeah,
I think she was Australian born.
Yeah.
Anyway,
one of those.
I go, And look, if it had been today that this happened, I would have not lost it, but I would have put up more of an argument. But because I'd only just got into it, and I was trying to impress, still trying to find and stuff in the hospitality scene.
Yeah.
I'm like, far out, fuck, what do I say to this guy? It's not, it's not bruschetta, it's bruschetta, and that's it, you know what I mean? I go, look, man, everyone says it their own way, everyone says it different. I said, I know it is because that's how,
I say it the correct way.
Yeah, obviously I'm Italian, so it's bruschetta, but, look, if you want to say it like that, if it's how you say it, it's fine, But he still was like, bruschetta, and I'm like, all right, whatever.
I probably would have just laughed. Like if he, I don't know what I would have done. Yeah.
Like when he walked out, I just turned, because my pizza order at the time was from Milano.
Yeah.
He got like a real Italian, and I just turned to him and I just started laughing, and he's like, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "That guy. Did you not hear what he just said?" He goes, "No," and I told him, and he's just like, he just started cursing a bit and he laughed as well.
Yeah.
That's all you can do, you know what I mean? Like,
you can only do so much, and you gotta.
Well, that's what I'm just thinking. Come on, customer trying to correct me. And I'm Italian. I'm born here too, but I'm Italian background. I know how it's pronounced. He wasn't Italian at all, like not even a little slight, not even one hair on his head. Trying to tell me how to say bruschetta. I'm just like, come on, dude. You can't be doing this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, I just let it sort of go in the end. But if it had happened today, I would have been putting up more of a fight going, dude, it's not bruschetta, it's bruschetta.
No, that's it. Yeah. No, that's a good one. I like that. I got one, and this one's like, it's a bit funny, but it's also quite serious. But when we look back on it, we've always laughed at it. And the reason why I'm thinking of it is because when we did the last segment, one of my staff was listening, and they're like, "Oh, why don't you tell the story about the crowbar guy?" And I'll get to the point of what I mean by crowbar guy.
What?
So
that already sounds.
That's what I mean. It already sounds bad, but no. Yeah. So basically, you know how like you get internet trolls, yeah. So you know how you get like internet trolls and whatever, everywhere. Well, we used to get them in our local fucking Facebook group. You know what I mean? Like Lancefield, like the town. We used to get them because, like, I don't know, people just like felt entitled that they had to say something. You know what I mean? Like when someone doesn't like something, they have to make it known that they didn't like it, and that I've never really understood. It's like, if you don't like something, don't fucking comment, just leave it. You know what I mean? Anyway, so we always used to get them every now and these were obviously very Australian guys that they were stuck in their way about pizza, and it doesn't matter. Like it never bothered me. It only bothers me when you make it an issue. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't like the pizza, then we're not the place for you, and that's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But anyway, so, every now and then obviously every week they would allow business posts. So we would share, oh, we have this special on this week and things like that. Now, one day I posted a photo of a very, very contemporary looking margarita. You know what I mean? So it was had a night, like we saw it as something fucking like that looks good, that
like
pizza.
a thick,
you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, like I was posting it because it was like a wow factor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, and we were doing like this tight ass Tuesday thing, and it was like $10 pizzas or $15 pizzas, Jesus, right? It was like really cheap.
My chair just went down. Yeah.
Yeah, so like this was during winter. We were quite quiet, so I was thinking of ways to boost the business up. So we did like cheap Tuesdays. Anyway, now this particular guy, I don't know who he is, but he must have come to my shop and he saw the photo of the pizza and he's like, yuck, you wouldn't even pay me to eat that soup bowl, obviously because it had the crust. So obviously he's like, oh, it just looks like a bowl of soup.
Yeah.
And by this point, I used to get really fired up in comments because I used to be so protective of
course,
my product.
About your product.
Yeah, and then by this time, like we were already selling the shop and everything. So I just thought, I just can't even fucking be bothered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just replied and I said, okay, to each their own. That's all I said. You know what I mean? Because you can't change these people's minds. You know what I mean?
No, you can't. Absolutely not.
And I'm not going to try and tell you that, no, that's not a bowl of fucking soup. It's a pizza. You know what I mean? So I wrote, okay, to each their own. And he decided to reply back because he didn't like the fact that I didn't arc up at him. You know what I mean? He was looking for something. And then he's like, wouldn't even feed it to my fucking dogs. After I've already just said to each their own to his original comment.
Yeah,
he's trying
to get you to
he's trying to bite and bite and bite. And then I just said, look, mate, I understand. That's fine. You don't like the pizza. Don't come here. It's fine. I don't care. You know what I mean? And then he bit again. You know what I mean? Now, I can't remember what the next thing he said, but it was implying a threat, right? So he was saying something along the lines of that he was going to come down to the shop and talk about this face to face with me. Like, he's like, oh, are you not man enough to sort this out? And I'm like, what's there to sort out? Like, you just insulted my fucking pizza and I've just told you, okay, like what do you want from this situation? And this is on a group and I just said to him, I said, look, you're starting to piss me off now. I said, because what happens is the admins, when they see these posts get out of hands, they delete them. You know what I mean? Because they don't want a fucking shit show on their group. And that's, I understand that. But the reality is that I am the one that ends up losing out because I've lost my chance to post about my business because it got deleted because of some dickhead that's commenting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So I decided I'm going to stop firing back up and I'm just going to let him comment because it's only going to end up worse for me. You know what I mean? So that's when I said to him, I'm like, look, I don't know what you want, but all I'm saying is that I don't care and just stop commenting with more things to say about my pizza because you're only making it worse for us. You know what I mean? And you're only going to make it worse for yourself by getting kicked out of the group, And then, he said something along the lines of, oh, if that's the way you're going to be, then I'll just pay you a visit at the shop. You know what I mean? And then, and I just said to him, like, look, mate, I'm like, we have juniors here. I said, if you're going to, and I can guarantee you that their parents are in this Facebook group. I said, if you want to hand out empty threats, by all means, go ahead. If you want to come and pay me a visit at the shop, you can come between these hours before there's any staff here, right? And then he didn't comment back after that. And I said, just so you know as well, the local police, I get pizza off them every week. I have their phone numbers too. I'm like, we're quite tight. So don't come at me with these threats because I could literally, I'll just call him and he'll just go to your house and he'll have a chat with you. And that's, we don't want it to be like that. I said, it's just stupid. I said, you're a child, mate. You're acting like this about a pizza. You know what I mean? And I said, I don't even know what it's going on to begin with, Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway, so we called this guy Crowbar Man because basically I had a crowbar in the back of my shop and I brought it out to the front of the shop. And I'm like, if this guy happens to come into the shop, we've got this under the till, right? And then they're like, fuck, you're the biggest idiot, I swear to God. So that was an interesting one because, my staff were just like, man, you get so fucking fired up about this one guy. I'm like, mate, if you were getting these threats about I'm going to come and pay a visit to you in person, like what the fuck would you do? You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah, of
like you
course.
don't know what people are capable of. So I thought, just keep it there. You know, you don't have to use it, but we just keep it there.
Yeah, yeah, that's
But
right.
so he became the crowbar guy.
And
Yeah.
he never came in.
Nah, he never. I actually like when he commented that, I knew he was one of those guys that he was just looking for a reaction. Like I didn't,
Just a keyboard warrior.
you know. Yeah, yeah. But I thought like it's if you're gonna come, don't come when there's kids. Like that's just stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
such an immature thing. But yeah, that's my little story for tonight.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. But
Sweet,
I'll
man.
think of some more. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
always thinking of ones. I'll actually, some of my staff always say, "Oh, you should tell this story or that story." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you know," because I forget.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, there's so many.
So many
Yeah,
things. So many things happen, and
yeah,
years
yeah,
pass, and you forget about it. But but there's always the real bad ones always stick in your mind. But
yeah, yeah.
I mean, look, the next episode, I've got. Well, we can maybe do something that's gone wrong with dough or something in the shop.
Yeah, plenty of those.
Yeah,
So.
plenty of those.
Cool.
We'll wrap it up and
yeah, sweet. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for listening. Obviously, a reminder always just to make sure you're following us on all our social channels, so Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. All right, we'll
Catch us on
sign
the
off.
next
So
episode.
that's it. All right, take care, everyone.
Ciao.